More and more people are now realizing that, for the most part, this so-called green movement is nothing more than a ploy by the same old monetary market economic system to rebrand itself as some kind of environmentally, socially conscious institution, tricking people into a false sense of security and feel-good sensations with buzzwords such as reduce, reuse, recycle, and be a conscious consumer. Now, enough people have awoken and call this brainwashing greenwashing. Enough people understand that true sustainability has absolutely nothing to do with what the mainstream market is selling. The emerging consciousness understands that pretty much all over the world, in virtually every last country, our so-called education system is, well, just that, a system. A system for indoctrinating people into a life of conformity and obedience. A system that has nothing to do with creating a populace capable of any real understanding of the world, or a populace capable of any sort of associative reasoning, but rather just smart enough to run the machines.
敬爱的革命烈士们，安息吧！少先队员会记住您，让我们用光荣的红领巾保障，热爱中国共产党。
If you sat around a table and you said, right, what we need to do is we need to find some way of getting young people to see the world the way we want them to see it, so that by the time they become adults, they are completely following the reality we want them to believe. Someone might say, well, they might not have it like, but you know the ideal thing? What we do is we have a system where we take children away from their parents at least 5 days a week, all day, from about the age of 4 and 5, and we have control of their minds until they're about 17, 18. That would be ideal. But of course, that's what happens. It's called the education system, and it's indoctrination.
It's pretty much understood now that no military on Earth, be it in the past or present, has ever fought for anything remotely connected to real freedom. Throughout history and even today, all standing armies exist for no other reason except to increase the powers and wealth of a few select individuals and institutions, especially the institution of the nation-state. And in regards to police, the purpose and role of all police forces around the world is not to protect and serve the public in general, but to protect and serve the false interests of money, wealth, and private property. Just take a serious look at history and it's easy to see that this is the reality and the truth. Look at every last push for some semblance of socio-economic justice and human rights. Who's been the ones always out in the streets beating peaceful protesters? Yes, that's right, the police and military. What was just covered here is perhaps just some of the major understandings now emerging with greater and greater numbers of people. Just some of the bigger truths that are permeating around the globe. And by now, some may be thinking that, well, great, this new updated consciousness understands a great deal about what's wrong with the human condition. But what about the solutions? Well, the beautiful part of all this, the part that makes everything so exciting, the part that makes it a great time to be alive, is the fact that many solutions are quite simplistic and right in front of us all. However, in order to reach the solutions, humanity as a whole will have to essentially flip society on end and throw away almost everything that is supposedly driving it and holding it together. This will mean throwing away virtually everything we believe to be true, almost everything our politicians, teachers, parents, and their parents told us. It will involve an unschooling of society, and essentially it will mean the end of special interests, the false authority of the nation-state, and an end to the monetary market economic system.